Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Visual Wilderness. We are always happy to have you with us. And Jay and I are here today with the incredible Ugo Che, who has joined us before. This is his second time on the show, and we're doing a sort of a special series with Ugo. He approached us with some questions about portfolio and going professional and things like that. And we thought that this is something that people ask us a lot, and we thought it could be really, really valuable to our members. And so Ugo agreed to join us, and here we are. So quick introductions. I'm Verena Patel. I am a landscape and nature photographer. I've been shooting since I was a kid, and I think I have the best job in the world. Although I do seem to have a lot of meetings and back-end work lately. Jay, go ahead.
I am Jay Patel, and as you guys could have guessed, I have the second best job in the world. Actually, I have the best job in the world, even better than Verena Patel, because I get to hang out with my beautiful wife and do landscape photography at the same time. So anyway, we are Visual Wilderness team members, and our other team members are hopefully soundly sleeping in Australia. Johnny Spencer and Brent Mail. And Ugo, why don't you say a couple of words about yourself, and we can jump right in.
Yeah, I'm at the moment might say that I'm an aspiring travel landscape photographer from Italy. I've been taking photos as a hobby for a few years now, and I have a job which in IT, which sometimes sends me around the world. I like traveling, and I like photographing what I see and sharing it with other people. And I'm trying to see if some of what I shoot has value. One reason is for my personal gratification, and the other one, I wouldn't mind maybe getting not a complete income, but some extra money to pay for gear and travels. That would be awesome. So I'm investigating with you options and possibilities.
Awesome.
So the last time we talked with you, Ugo, we had suggested that you take a look around the city where you live and just see where images are being sold. Take a look at gift shops, even magazines and things, to see where your market might be, where you might put your work, who you might contact in order to get your foot in the door. So you told Jay and I that you'd done your homework. So tell us about it.
I've done at least part of my homework. One of the assignments was to go to a gift shop and get some items like magnets, mugs, calendars. Now, where I live, it's a small city just south of Milan, Italy. There is a bit of tourism here, not much, so there aren't any really gift shops. I would have had to go to Milan, and I didn't have time for that. So I was able to get a magnet.
So one of the questions that we have for you is, when you got the magnets and when you got the brochures, what kind of images did you see on them?
So yeah, the thing that I did get was I went to the local tourist information office, and I got a bunch of leaflets, brochures about this is all about the local area, about the city and the region and its surroundings. Mm-hmm. And what did I get? Essentially, two types of things. This is the reason why most people come here or are interested in coming here to this specific area. One is history and culture. Mine is an ancient city. It's got many medieval monuments and churches and so on. So you see there's a bunch of pictures of churches, right? All of them ranging from the 12th century to the modern times.
Yeah.
Like this one and this one and so on. So this is one type of cultural attraction that requires imagery. Okay. The other reason why this area is popular, is attracting people, is the countryside. We have some hills nearby which are very vocated to winemaking. So we've got lots of vineyards. So there's plenty of stuff about wines and
The vineyard
vineyards,
photographs.
and
Yes.
yeah, winemaking
Yes.
with reviews of cellars and so on. There aren't much photos in this one. Another one, yeah, about winemaking again, and various foods, vegetables, cheeses, and so on. So these are the two main attractions. Yeah, churches again, churches. We have like 100 churches here.
A lot of churches, yeah.
This is not a church. This is the city hall from the Middle Ages, the ancient one.
Interesting, yeah.
Religious tourism here. More churches.
Yeah.
So Ugo, one thing I noticed as you were going through the brochures was they're all blue sky shots. They're all daylight shots.
Yeah, they're not your
Yeah,
typical, what landscape photographers are always out to get, right? We're all out to get that incredible sunset with the brilliant sky or the sunbeams dropping down. These are just blue sky, everyday shots, the way a tourist would probably see it as they were coming through the city.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, blue skies here and blue skies. And I have just a couple of nighttime shots.
Yeah, the
This is
nighttime.
a postcard from non-profit NGO. It's not really commercial. Yeah,
So here's
yeah.
a question. The first thing I think that any photographer needs to ask themselves is, hey, am I up to this caliber? So these are the things that are selling. Some photographer out there is selling these photos. They're being paid. Hopefully they're being paid to get their images in those magazines, on the cards. So question number one that every photographer has to ask themselves when they think they're ready to go pro is, okay, are my images up to this caliber at the minimum, right?
Honestly, yes.
Yes, and I would agree with you completely, Ugo. Your images are most definitely up to that caliber. No problem.
I might share my screen in just a second. I don't want
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
sound like I'm bragging, but yeah, you see this? This is a monument. This is the
Yeah.
tomb of Saint Augustine.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah.
this is a monument. This is in my hometown, in a church in my city. So this is the photo that goes into the official brochure for that church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a couple of shots of it. And I took a shot of this same monument a few years ago. So let me share it just to give you an idea.
Oh my, isn't that beautiful?
So what I would like to see is you should approach the people who made the brochure and say, hey, I have a gorgeous shot. I would like to share it with you. And your shot by far shows so much more detail,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I think that's
Certainly superior to the one that's already there.
if I may say so,
You
I
may.
think that's a pretty
Well,
good
we
shot.
may say so. I mean, I saw the brochure and I can certainly see that the brochure you showed me is everything in the background is dark and only you
Yeah.
can see the monument. Your shot
was-
is something which is incredible, which is like you could actually walk into the place and take a look and say, yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is
I
what
was
it looks
lucky
like.
because there was nobody in there. I could set my tripod down, and I took seven shots. I did an HDR because I knew the detail in the monument is lit very brightly, and the background, the ceiling of the church is dark.
Yeah.
So I did an HDR with 7 shots, and I was nobody in there at the moment. So it was
So I think that what two things that people should learn about from this is, like Lorena mentioned, is like, are you up to the caliber? That's the first thing you need to learn. The second thing you need to know is what kind of shots are selling. And if you notice the shots of historical buildings, and there are shots of daylight. Lorena said something else which was also very insightful, that these are the shots that people see when they go there, right, sweetheart?
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's really important too. I want to tie that in with the photo that Ugo just took or just showed us. You know what? The fact is, what people are going to see when they walk in to see that monument is more like what Ugo showed us than what the brochure showed on its cover. The problem is, because our pupils adjust, we can see detail in the bright areas and we can see detail in the shadows, but the camera can't handle that. In order to capture the scene in a way that looks closer to the reality of how it looks from inside that building, you know, you need to blend images and do some post processing. It's clear, of course, I can't see the image that well from the brochure. It's a little difficult to see, of course, on a Hangout, but it looks to me as if the background is almost gone, as if there is
Yes,
almost no detail in the ceiling at all.
it's totally dark, which in a way works in this photo because it's got the lettering. If there
That's
were a
right.
lot of detail here, you would you would not be able to place the lettering in there.
That's true, and it's an important thing to be aware of. Copy space for covers can be important. On the other hand, maybe they want to use your image
As a
elsewhere,
postcard.
as a postcard, as a poster,
Right.
as a calendar, or even inside the brochure. But I think that is probably your first place. Go in, yeah, there you go. Look at that big image on the inside. My,
What
that
I
is,
would not be able to get is a photo of the Pope in front of
well,
Well, you just have to send an invitation to Pope and say, "Come and visit us, and I want to take a picture."
but you just got to work harder, Ugo. Come on.
I'd call the Vatican now.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, you know, that's a location you can approach, and you can also use that image in some kind of an essay and submit it to some of the magazines that you showed us.
Yeah, one thing that I'm seeing here, I actually tried to find some information about it. These brochures, for instance, are made by the city. So in the back there is an address and a mail address and telephone number of the local tourist information board. Fact is that it's not the tourist information board is distributing those, but those are created by some agency, somebody, and the city is a client of those, and there is no information about who is actually producing those. It's
but
probably
the
the
city,
people that are.
the city purchasing department should know that. And if you call them and say, "Hey, I'm a local resident who wants to produce images for you," they're more than willing to help a local resident than some tourist who came in and took some shots.
Right. Also, you know, for example, when we go into national parks, we're aware that the national park gift shop. So, for example, the gift shop in Yosemite is not run by Yosemite. It's not even run by the gift shop itself. It's not a separate entity. It's actually all the gifts and items that are available in the gift shop are sent by one company. I think it's Xanterra Resorts on the West Coast and
Yeah, there's something else on the East Coast. Yeah.
I don't recall exactly, but the trick is to go in, talk to the people in charge, or call the number that's there and ask around until you find the right person. Find out what company it is. Sometimes, really, you just have to do some research to find them. There's nothing in the national parks gift shops that says necessarily that says, you know, all our inventory comes from Xanterra Resorts, but or Xanterra. Actually, Xanterra also runs the resorts, so that's a separate thing. But you know, sometimes it's about detective work, and it takes some time to figure it out. But you should be able to find the right person by hopefully by making some phone calls or going in and talking to people.
Yeah, in some cases, and for this brochure at least, there is the references, the website and the name of the agency that produced it. So
Awesome.
there's images and production by this agency. So that's
Yeah, so you can just approach them and say, "Hey, I have a bunch of images and local images," and see what they have to say. And you may have to try a few times before you get in, so don't be afraid. So I think the next assignment you had, I want to move on because it's already 15 minutes. So the next assignment you had was the magazines, but I want to defer that topic of magazines to our next time around, because I want to talk a little bit about fine art images and contrast what you have produced and seen in brochures, which is blue sky shots, to fine art images, which is a very different kind of photography. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
So
before you go on, Jay, I do want to point out that we're not trying to suggest that the only photos that these magazines and brochures and gift shops will accept are blue sky images. That's really
that's
not what we're
correct.
trying to say, but only that a lot of times you can produce something even better than what you're seeing in those magazines. And you can produce a shot because you have a clear understanding of the light. You may be able to get an even better shot than what's there already. But to take a few blue sky shots doesn't hurt either because sometimes that's exactly what they're looking for.
Hmm.
Right?
So Jay, I'll let you go on now. I just wanted to be clear.
No, no, I completely agree to make a distinction between those.
Mm-hmm.
So the next source of revenue is fine art work, and fine art work is what we traditional landscape photographers or travel photographers like to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
There is like blazing images and some beautiful skies and storm clouds and things like that. Now, there are two kinds of venues to selling fine arts. Actually, there are more than two kinds, but the two kinds that we like prefer to approach is big calendar companies that produce images, and then the other place we want to approach is, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this.
Mm-hmm.
The other place we'll kind of approach is to sell the prints on your own. And I think, Ugo, you have a SmugMug site, correct?
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah, so we also have SmugMug site. So one of the things I do want to mention is big canvas prints. And this is Marina's prints. I'll let her talk about this one. So, so here's a print, and I'll try to see if this is one of those images that we sold. Oh, it's small because of my screen. So there you go. So what happens, Viran? How did we sell this?
So this is a shot that was sold to actually a friend of the family, a friend of mine from when I was very young. They chose it though for two reasons. They had moved to Georgia. They live in Georgia, and they really missed their home by the sea in California. So they were looking for a photo of this, a beach photo, something that would sort of remind them of home. And then they also wanted something that would fit in this place above their mantle that you can see here. The print is, gosh, 40 inches, Jay?
No, it is about as tall as you are, almost
40 inches
60.
wide, sorry. Oh, 30 inches I mean 40 by 60 maybe?
60, yeah.
Yeah, 40 inches wide, sorry. Yeah, I mean, you can see there it's almost as tall as I am. It's a big print. It looks amazing. When you see one of your prints this large, it's a lot of fun. It looks really neat. But they actually redecorated their entire living room. They were redecorating, and they matched the colors of the walls, the colors of the couch cushions, the colors of the curtains to this print. It became the central point of focus in their living room, and it was really neat to see an entire room built around a photo that I had created. It was really a neat thing. So this is a canvas print. Printing on canvas is a challenge, but it can be really, really neat when you print it this big. So it's a lot of fun to see.
So I think the key to remember over here is that there was a emotional connection for the people who bought the print because they used to live in California, right? Now,
And of course, they also knew the artist. So there are two parts to that. They knew me personally and had a connection with me, and they also really loved that location.
So, so another topic that I wanted to show you was these two shots. So a while ago, we got a request for, I think it was a hospital, right, sweetheart?
Yes.
Hospital to supply prints for the whole hospital, Ugo. And we submitted two images, this one, and then I submitted this one. All right. So two images we submitted. I think I can blow this up. So let me see if I can actually show you guys. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
This one. And then I submitted the other one, which is this. This image of mine is incredibly popular. It is on social media, one of the most recognized shots of mine. Had hundreds of hits, thousands of shares, and the shot before that, this one, is not quite as popular. But when I submitted these two to the clients actually decided to go with this one. And the reason they decided to go with this one was because the hospital that was being built was in Ohio, and they wanted shots from Ohio. And compared the two shots, this one is technically far better shot. And the colors are appealing, and the composition is great. And
It has a really strong impact. You know, it has
Right.
that brilliant turquoise, this huge waterfall, the volume of water. You know, I mean, this is a slap me upside the head and say, wow, photo. And the other one, you know, it's brown. It's not that
yeah,
exciting. I mean, it has a lovely little trickle of water, but the volume's very low at that time of year. The water
everybody's
level's
dead.
low. Is it a great shot? Well, Jay, what do you think? Is it a great shot?
Technically, it is good, but the impact is not there at all.
Right. It has very little impact. It's very low impact. And not only that, this location has green trees everywhere.
Correct.
And you know what? It feels very, very brown. So it was a surprise when they chose that shot. We were surprised. And yet, we understood why they did it because of that emotional connection. They wanted their patients who were from the local area to feel at home, to feel comfortable, to maybe recognize these images on the walls and say, oh, I know that place. I was there with my kids, or you know, I went for a picnic there once, or I enjoyed a hike there once. That's important in a hospital, to feel comfortable and at home.
So both of those shots, Ugo, sold because of the local connection and the impact that we had because of the local connection. We have sold other shots as well, and every time we sell a shot, we usually ask whoever purchased the shot, why did you guys purchase the shot? And more often than not, their answer is because we were there, I was there as a child, or I used to live there, or my mother was from that area, or we were planning a vacation there, or we went there somehow. Somehow there was some sort of local connection to that. And we found that by using this local connection, we can produce some of the most brilliant sales. So when we display, and there's today we got an article on our site called the last article called Know Your Audience. When you are in a fine arts market, what you need to know is you need to know who your audience is. So here's a display that we did as a local display in a library. And we ended up selling a couple of these shots. And both the shots were purchased because of emotional connection that people had with the shots. So whenever we display shots here in Ohio, we always try to have some local images because they will have emotional connection with people. Or have images that are very, very well known that a lot of people have been there. Like, say, for example, the United States is like Grand Canyon, for example. And they're more likely for us to sell.
So I think it's important to realize that the location where you're selling your prints, that the people who will be in that location have a connection to that location. And so if I try and sell Jay's photo of the Ohio waterfall in Arizona, I don't think it's going to sell very well. But in fact, I think the only place that photo is likely to sell very well is right here in Ohio at the gift shop in Hocking Hills.
Correct, which is where the park is, where we took the photograph.
Yeah.
Can I share a bit of a story?
Yes.
So I'm also going to share my screen. And this photo was taken at a friend's house. And the photo on the wall is a photo of mine.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
And it's a photo of a local one, photo of the city where I live. It was actually taken from the house where I live. I went up to the last floor. And
What a
this friend
view.
of mine years ago asked, I'm redecorating my house and I want a photo of the city. with certain dimensions, and it has to be a wide panoramic photo taken from above. And I know that you like taking photos, and you live in your house. It's one of the tallest buildings in the city. So if you go up there, you will see the whole city. And I said, "That's good." And then before I could be there, when the light was good, and this was an awesome light, we had a thunderstorm, and the sky was clearing in the west and illuminating all the clouds in the east. And I said, I'm going to get that. And I got that shot. And then I went to my friend and I said, I got the picture for you. And he said, wonderful, I want to buy it. I want you to print it for me, and I'll frame it and I'll hang it on my wall.
Awesome.
So
Ugo,
that's
have
one of
you
my...
have you tried to sell this particular shot in local galleries?
I have a friend who owns a gallery. I sold a couple of photos through her gallery.
Excellent. Congratulations.
It's not easy because they're always they don't often do photography. They
Yeah.
mostly do paint.
Now, here's a suggestion for this particular photo and for others that are similar to it. One of the issues with selling fine art prints is that they tend to be very expensive. So your target market for fine art prints is a higher income bracket, people who make enough money that they can afford to buy nice art. On the other hand, there's another income bracket that you can target and sell the same fine art prints for quite a bit less. And the way you do that is by making it into a poster.
Correct.
So you would look at, it's a different kind of paper. It's a little bit lighter weight than your standard printing, photo printing paper. And a lot of times what you do for a poster is you put a subtle border around the image itself, give it a white matte, not really a matte, but an area around the outside, and then you put some kind of lettering at the bottom explaining the location or the city or whatever it is in a nice, simple font. And selling posters like that to local gift shops in sets of 10 or 20 rolled up neatly so that they can sell them easily, and of course they would need one to display so that people, it would catch their eye. Something like that might be something you could do in other areas as well. Now, I know you said you don't have a lot of gift shops right where you are, but that's something that might be an option if you could find places that were selling that sort of thing even to locals. And of course, for other people who are interested in doing the same thing, looking into gift shops and considering posters as a lower income bracket alternative target market is a possibility.
In fact, in the United States, I know you've traveled to U.S., Ugo, and if you look at gift shops in national parks or cities where there's a lot of tourism, they have like a huge thing of posters. Like there are like several of these, all different sizes, from say 12 inches to 24, 30 inches sometimes. And people buy them for $20, and they buy a lot of them. And I think we have, I don't know if I still have it, we have an action that actually takes your image, your fine art image, and puts these borders and a lettering around it. What I can do is, Ugo, I will actually send you what a typical poster looks like, at least in the U.S. And give it a shot. Yeah, if you have an idea, then you're all set. But give it a shot in local gift shops. Is create a poster and say, hey, would you be interested in displaying this? And the posters usually sell for anywhere between $10 or $20. So every time like a tourist comes by, he'll look at it. He says, oh yeah, I've been in the city. I've seen all those churches and all the buildings. And the skyline of the city like this makes an awesome poster.
The other place that a poster might like that might sell is actually in local restaurants. You give them a framed, not framed, but just a poster to display, even putting it in an inexpensive black frame, hanging it, offering it for free for them to hang in their restaurant, and underneath a basket of posters that they may be able to sell. Give them 20 posters and
put a price on it.
put a price on it and say, hey, are you interested in offering these for sale? And you can offer them a percentage if they're interested. Or some restaurants may actually be happy to have the art and to offer them for sale even without taking a cut.
Yeah. Well, a lot of restaurants in the U.S. do that. They will exchange artwork for a month of selling posters or fine
Or
art.
even longer.
Longer, yeah.
Many restaurants here, they don't want to deal with the hassle of putting it up and taking it down, but they do need art to cover their walls. And if it's a local, it's even better. Yeah.
Yep. Understood.
All right. So I think that the hour is up. I mean, half an hour is up,
Yep.
and we half an hour is up. And so next time we're going to talk about calendars and how what kind of images they are looking for and some of the things we have done.
Mm-hmm.
And we also will talk about magazine. One of the things that was very interesting is after our last broadcast, one of the Visual Wilderness team members contacted us and says, hey, I would like to talk or offer my help because she was a magazine editor for a long time and worked in the magazine industry. So would you mind if we ask her to join us sometime, if she's available?
Absolutely. I mean, I would love it.
Wonderful. Yeah,
All
then
right.
we'll invite her to join us. Actually, I've already invited her, and she has said she'd love to, but it's going to be about a month before she's available to join us. So
I think we'll schedule.
Probably do another one in between. And
Yeah, and then schedule one later and join us. And I'm hoping that times work out because I don't know where she lives. If she's in Australia, then one of us will have to stay up really late. So Ugo, just be ready for it, or
No worries.
on the other
do it on
hand,
weekends.
we could always do 2 separate hangouts and make it work that way. So
Yeah.
we will
Yeah,
figure it out, and we will
I'm
bring it to
flexible,
you
don't
all.
worry.
All right, so look for part 3 of this where we talk about calendars and we'll talk about the magazines.
Thank you for this very interesting conversation. And
Thank you.
got many ideas already too.
Awesome. I want to see some results, and then it will be really exciting to share it with everybody.
Yes.
So, all right, I am going to say goodbye to all our viewers, and hopefully we'll see you next week with another hangout from Visual Wilderness team.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Ugo. Thanks for joining us.